Hey, this is Bobba, hop hip star, and I'll tell you what, when you need to be hip, you need some hops. I've been here on Kauai for 4 days, getting ready to film a tribute to Jimmy Phillips. And all I can tell you is this, 4 days with Harry is like 400 days with almost anybody else. It's been a wild ride. We started on St. Patty's Day, and I'll tell you what, we used up all the scotch in Hanalei and they had to wait for the next truck to come on Monday. It's been sad, I tell you. Harry's currently retching in the bathroom, so I hope this noise isn't going to take up any of the sound here on the fine, super fine video I'm making for all my friends back in Santa Cruz, California. I'll tell you what, staying with Harry is kind of like having a friend with a terminal disease. You mostly sit out in the living room reading and watching TV while they moan in the back bedroom, and then hope you can take him outside for a ride for an hour or two every day. In a little while, if he regains consciousness, I'm going to bring Harry out here, and we're going to do an interview together. It'll be something else. It'll be many syllables versus monosyllabic blithering. Well, what did you expect? Hi, I'm here with Harry Conte, who's the Grand Imperial Wizard of the Pleasure Point Night Fighters, and also head honcho of the Pack Your Trash movement, which has stickers in languages all over the world. I've seen Mpaki Subasura, and as you can see here, I'm holding Oleopala, which is Hawaiian for Pack Your Trash. And Harry is just, he's a visionary man, and along with the Save Our Seas movement, they've teamed up over here on Kauai to get everybody interested in keeping their environment clean. I'll tell you something else. It's really hard to do a retrospective of all our activities at Pleasure Point without bringing up a lot of criminal activity. But you know what? I'm going to try not to do that. And basically, here's how it's going to go. Surfing. Sunrises. More surfing. Sunsets. Well, that about covers it without the drugs and alcohol. You know, St. Patty's Day, Harry scored a couple of tourist chicks and came home with us that night. It was spectacular. He got them all hooked up by promising PPNF t-shirts. It wasn't until we got him to the house he told me he was going to pour ice water all over him once they got him on. I'll tell you what, one was with me, plopped down on the couch, pulled up her mini skirt and spread her legs, and she had a pair of crotchless underwear on. She says, "Hey, how'd you like a little bit of this?" I told her, "Hell no, look what it did to your underwear." There's some loud noises coming from back in the bathroom right about now. I think it's Harry laughing, but you know, you never can tell. That guy squeals like a pig when he's retching, I'll tell you that much. We were leaving the beach in Hanalei last night, and he was wowing some people trying to have a luau in the back of their car. They were thinking there was a pig roast going in ours, I'll tell you that much. Had to wash off the passenger door too. Harvey, bro, I've been staying in his house for 4 days now. It's great. I'll tell you what, if you like cheese, cranberry juice, or vodka, you're in like Flynn.
And I gotta tell you, my friends and I are buried to the hilt in this thing.
You know, I don't want to belittle my man too much, because I'm telling you flat out, he's the hardest working guy on Kauai, and probably only one of the real working guys on Kauai. He's a sheet metallurgist. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's a guy that makes gutters, and his mind is right in that. Sadly, one of the PPNF things that never really got off the ground, at least out in public, was the Pleasure Point wheelbarrow races. Now what you need is a 19-year-old girl and some cocktails. Have you ever tried to figure out why Sam Adams, a notoriously American-made beer, shows up on the imported beer list for a bunch of fucking money whenever you go to the bar? The hell's wrong with that? They should get something made in China. Jimmy Phillips. I'll tell you about Jimmy Phillips. That man's brain is fizzing with rabies. I mean, you and I might look at something and we see a door and we see a car and we see a couch, but I'll tell you, when Jimmy Phillips looks, there's like 10,000 little demons and people crawling around. Well, I don't mean demons, I just mean faces. Everything from Mickey Mouse to who knows what. That guy can fill up a drawing faster than Harry can fill up the urinal at the Catalyst. You know, when I was a little kid growing up in Santa Cruz, you know, actually I grew up in Los Altos Hills, which is way over on the other side of the mountain. I was a valley guy. The only good news about that was I came from the same town as Doug Hout, who was like the supreme surfer of all time. But in the early days, Valley Guy didn't mean that much. It wasn't until later on, in the middle 60s and later, that you know, people start getting uptight about stuff like that. You were a surfer, and that was that. The wonderful Alan Barron used to let me keep my board in his garage out there by Cowles, so I could hitchhike back and forth by myself to Santa Cruz, because, you know, hitchhiking with a surfboard was like hitchhiking with a gorilla. Who the hell is going to pick you up with something like that? Anyway, you know, actually, even a lot of my dim-witted Santa Cruz friends believe I went to high school with them. You know, didn't you go to high school with us, Bob? And it's like, no, man, I didn't, because I'll tell you what, you were just so stacked up you didn't recognize me in the weekdays. You know, I was just there on the weekends. You know, Jimmy Phillips sent me some great pictures of Live Oak when he was young, and that place was empty. I mean, all there was Brown's Bulb Ranch. As early as even when I was a young surfer going to Pleasure Point, there was only 2 stop signs on 41st Avenue between the freeway and the Hook. The Foster Freeze and the Chevron station were up there, and everything else was either Brown's Bulb Ranch or nothing. And over in Live Oak, where a lot of people actually were making surfboards back in the old days, they were all in old abandoned chicken shacks. That was the land of turkeys and, what was that, Sorrells turkeys and chicken shacks. I'll tell you, it was a great time to be alive. And I'm sure Jimmy is really happy about that, because he was one lonely kid surfing by himself with hardly anybody around at Pleasure Point in those days. Too much fun. Across the street from the new coastal highway was the mushroom factory. And I'll tell you what, you prayed for it not to be offshore winds for too long if you lived anywhere near that thing. Man, you know what they grow mushrooms in, don't you? The same stuff Harry's filling up the bowl with right now.
Hey, it's Bob Shaw. We're over in front of the Hanalei Surf Company. My great old friend from the 1970s, Bobo Boland's inside working, and we're going to surprise her with a visit. Let's get it on, dudes. Not even. I'll spock her out, and then we'll have an attack. Wow. No more.
Are you with the customer right now?
She's the woman with the pigtails.
Here we are at Hanalei.
This is my great friend Bobo Boland. We've been friends for almost 40 years, and it's so good to see you again. Hello.
That was so great.
Still swimming to Kalalau every other day?
Well, just swimming to Kalalau in the summertime.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
I can't wait for it to get flat enough to start swimming like down the Nepali again. I so miss my Nepali. I mean, I just love the Nepali.
You're looking great, Bobo.
You look really good too. You look in really good shape. You look strong, and you just look pretty much the same.
I'm mentally deficient, but I'm getting better every few minutes, you know?
I hear you.
And how's everybody else? How's
Everybody's
Alpin?
doing good. Alpin's doing great.
You know,
Alpin has 2 grown-up kids and one 12-year-old, and she has a nice family, good life, good husband.
Unreal.
A long time.
You know, Bob Stone, the guy that made the Taylor Camp movie, lives about 4 blocks away from me on Maui.
Cool.
And so I got a copy of the movie, and we went to the show when it was over there, you know, and saw all kind of guys, you know, that I knew from back in, you know, everybody walking to the show had this kind of weird smile on their face, like, you know, I was there, I was there, I was there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I'm really happy to be here.
Bob, I'm so glad I'm a great-grandma.
Great-grandma. Oh, yeah.
My daughter, Mika, her son, her oldest son.
Does he still live on Maui?
No, he lives here.
Oh, okay.
Had a little girl about 5-6 months ago.
Oh, man, great-grandma Bobo. Think about that, you know?
Yeah.
Most of us thought we were never going to live to be anything. Now here we are.
Yeah.
I'm a grandpa 3 times, you know?
How about, you know, it's so funny because now I'm still out there surfing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm kind of joking around with everybody. I don't see any other great grandmas out here. Where are they? Come on.
What a great time we had.
We did. We were young and crazy.
We were young and we were, you know, pretty much certifiably crazy, I think, in those days.
I try to still be as crazy as possible.
Wait, I'm so happy to see you. We can still visit, but we're going to stop filming now so you can go back and not get fired and lose your job.
Yeah,
okay, I love you the most. I'm going to just follow you around. We'll come back and say hi again soon.
Okay.
I love you, man.
I love you too. So good to see you.
Aloha. Too perfect. Hey, wait, it sounds like my ride's coming. Any second now. Wait, hold on. Oh, it is my ride. Oh no, I thought that would be the DUI guys. Okay, I'm ready to get in. Uh-oh. Well, hey, somebody probably drowning out Hanalei Bay. That's going to be the big trouble, I tell you, right off the get-go. Big waves, big troubles. It's a powerful wave. Okay, okay, okay. Hey, we're standing in front of Ching Village over here, which once upon a time was a really small little grocery store over there where you see the sign that says Ching Store above the white picket fence. That store was so funky in those days you had to actually move the cats off the shelf to get boxes of cereal and stuff. I used to live just up the street here and we're going to go up there pretty soon, but I wanted you to see how things have changed here in Hanalei since the 1970s. I'm standing in the handicap parking for a really good reason. I applied for a handicap parking permit on Maui and they wouldn't give me one. They said, "Nah, you're no handicap." I told them, "Hey, you never see me eat with chopsticks." Anyway, this is what I laughingly call the brand new post office. It was built back in the middle 70s, but my house used to be right at the end of this little thing. But they built this post office in the middle 70s, and the funny thing was, we were living here and we had a small fishing boat. One day Mike and Ben had gone out fishing because the waves were too good, so I went surfing with them. And during the construction, most of the Hawaiian guys building this only gave us stink eye all day, every day. Suddenly Mike came home and he had a 267-pound ahi in the back of his truck. From that very day on, we went from fucking howlies to the fucking howlies and caught the big fish. And the post office guys here were our new best friends forever, and they gave us all the spare lumber they had, and we actually built an extra room on the house that we could rent out for even more beer money. Back before they built this post office, it consisted of a little window in the Ching store, right next to the plate lunch window. Clorinda, who became the postmistress here, was the postmistress down there, and she ruled Hanalei with an iron thumb. If you had some kind of check coming from the mainland or something and cut up rough or were seen too drunk in town, Clorinda would hold your check back for days on end just to punish you. I'm sure she's retired by now, but yeah, I still call this the new post office. This house here is my old house in Hanalei from 40 years ago. It used to be further up, almost past where the camera is right now, but they dragged it back when Larry Ching built the famous Ching shopping center before he passed away. We used to, we had a fishing boat and a whole bunch of stuff, and all we would do is surf and fish, and I actually worked on a papaya farm at the time. Get a lot of stuff. And across the street over here, past where the photo shop is, was a little shack that we used to call tie-off land because a bunch of druggies lived there. But after they left, Stinkbug and Leslie Goodbody lived there. She's gone on to become a famous artist here in Hanalei, but in those days there was almost no girls on this island at all that you could date. They would all get scooped up by rich guys in just a couple of minutes. And our biggest thrill in life was to sit out in the afternoon, drink a beer, and hope to God that Leslie Goodbody would come out and get something out of the trunk of her car. Now I think here is your Hawaiian tourist things. We're going to check out and see if we got any of your Hawaiian gifts here. I'm not sure if we do or not.
No,
pardon me, young lady, do you have any Hawaiian gifts here?
Things made here.
And I would hope your bird would say something wonderful. You want a cracker?
What are you doing? Oh,
He wants a peanut. Well, heavens to Betsy. Hey, I got dark glasses on. I'm sure I look much better like this. Wait a minute, that's not my good side. Wait, this is...
Oh dear, don't film me. I hate being filmed.
It's okay because we've got my good side now, so how they film you really doesn't matter because it's all about me. Okay, this is our job. Hunt for stink bug. actually across the street. Hey, this is the Hanalei liquor store, one of my favorite places on earth. Way back years ago, this was the most important place in Hanalei for a lot of us. If the civil defense guys ever said the bridge was going to close, we all would pool our money and run down here as fast as we could, because with the Hanalei bridge closed, the Budweiser truck could not get through and we would all be out of beer. So that's the way we worked it back in the old days. Aloha. How are you today?
How are you?
I'm just fine. I wish your mom wasn't still on. Is that your mom?
My mom.
Cool. I used to have to lift you off the freezer to get beers when I was a little kid. In there. Anyway, I got beers. Hanalei liquor store. One more time. Almost too perfect. But we buy better beer now because we're getting older and like to spend money faster. Aloha. Hey, I'm here visiting Hanalei, and I got my great old friend Beaver here from Maui. And whereabouts in SoCal? Where are you from originally?
Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach. And Beaver now lives up Powerhouse Road, grows taro, and what else?
I grow lettuce, bok choy, any kind of thing that grows.
It's the best. He's living the pure-on country life here. I'm so happy to have friends from Maui here, and Beaver, one of my best friends ever. And here we are at Hanalei. It was actually sort of an okay, good day, I suppose, yeah?
Yeah, it's been big this weekend, and it's going to continue this next swell.
Anyway, Hanalei was such a great place in my life, and I'm so happy to be here visiting all my friends, and especially you two, Beeb.
Well, I'm glad to be here. And you know what? Say all the guys at Ukumahama, Thousand Peaks, all of them, say aloha, and kind of get to Okole over here and find out what's right a wave overhead.
You know, this is the lovely Hanalei Bay and Hanalei Valley. I spent most of my winters here in the 1970s surfing these fantastic waves out here and all the other fantastic waves that break across this bay. One of my favorite places on earth to this very day. Even though I live on Maui these days, I still love to come over here and visit and see all my friends at Black Pod and all around the place. And I just wish everybody in Hanalei the greatest bunch of aloha. Aloha.
Hi, I'm Hugh G. Rection, and I gotta tell you, I am so excited about Harry Conte, the brutally handsome Grand Vizier of the Pleasure Point Night Fighters, and his famous Pack Your Trash movement. He's got people all over the world packing their trash, and in lieu of the new rescinding of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, he has also instigated the Pack Your Butts movement. And I want to tell you something right from the bottom of my heart, or the heart of my bottom, I can't remember which, but we're buried to the hilt in this in my hometown of San Francisco, California. La 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 la.